Hello students, today we are going to study some tricks to derive structures from the IUPAC name. Generally when we see huge IUPAC names, we get scared to how to derive the structures from those IUPAC names. So today I'll be sharing with you some tricks to derive the structures. So we will start from some simple IUPAC names and then we'll move to some big IUPAC names. So the first IUPAC name with here is 4-nitrofuran. Now before starting with these things, it is assumed that the students know how the names of the substituents and the structures of the heterocycles. So here we have the first IUPAC name, that is 4-nitrofuran. That means the number denotes the presence of nitrogen group on the furan. So let us draw the structure first. The structure of furan we all know is this: oxygen in a 5-membered ring. Now furan, there is one more group attached, that is nitro, which is attached at the position 4. So basically 4 denotes the position. So we will number the furan first. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That means the nitro group is present at 4th position. So here we will attach this nitro group. So this is our basic and simplest of the IUPAC name. Now let us move on to the next structure, next IUPAC name. Here we have 1,4 hyphen di in the bracket methane sulfonyl oxybutane. So whenever we are deriving a structure, we just see the end part of the IUPAC name. So here it is butane. So I'll write down the structure. But is 4 and since it is alkane, so it is butane denotes alkane. So I will just draw a backbone of butane. So this is butane, and here a bracket is ending. That means the bracket is starting from somewhere here, and in front of the bracket there is a word di. That means twice in the structure. That means whatever the substituents are present in the bracket is twice in the structure. So we have to find out the position where is this substituent twice in the structure. So we will go in front of this di word, that is 1 and 4. So if I number, since this is an alkane, we can number it from any end. So I'll try to number it from here: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 1 and 4 at 1 position and 4 position, we have this substituent twice in the structure. So let us derive that. It is oxy. So I will write down oxy to both the ends. Then the oxygen is attached to the sulfonyl. Always look from the back side and write down the substituents in the structure. So oxy is attached to the sulfonyl. So I'll attach here sulfonyl to both the sides, and this sulfonyl is attached to the methane. So this is methane. So this is our structure. Now we will adjust the valencies of these carbon, 1, 2, and here I will write down H2. Similarly here also H2, H2 and H2. So this is one of the anti-cancer drug, busulfan. Let us move on to the next structure. Here I am having 2,2-dichloro N methyl diethylamine. Now this is my root, amine. Amine is generally RNH2. So I will write down the structure of amine. Let us consider this as amine N, and it is another nitrogen is bonded to, is having 3 bonds. So I will write down here 3 bonds, and this amine is attached here diethyl. There is diethyl group attached to the amine. So that means diethyl, two ethyl groups are attached to the amine. So I will attach one group here, CH2, CH2, and here also CH2, CH2. Then there is methyl group at N position. So there is only one N position in this structure. So I will attach N methyl. So methyl group is attached to the nitrogen. Now there is again one more substituent, that is dichloro 2,2 dash. Now 2,2 dash, how should we denote 2,2 dash? So one is this carbon, another is this carbon, this is 1 2, and this is 1 dash 2 dash. So this 2 and 2 dash, we have two chloro groups attached. So this is the structure of mechlorethamine. Again, one of the anti-cancer drug, and this is the way we derive the structure from the IUPAC name. Now we are going to see some complex structures and how to derive those structures. Now here we have a huge IUPAC name in front of us, and we are going to derive the structure of this IUPAC name. Let us start. So I have some color pencils with me for simplicity. Now always when we start deriving a structure, we should look at the root name, the last part. So we are having here amine. So amine is RNH2. This is amine, a general structure of amine, and this amine is somewhere there on pyrimidine. So pyrimidine, we have a pyrimidine structure. Pyrimidine is a 6-membered 2 nitrogen containing heterocycle. So we number it this way: 1 2 3 4 5 6. We number it such a way that the any of the 2 nitrogen is first numbered as 1, and the other nitrogen gets the least possible number. So this is 1 2 3. So this is a pyrimidine. Now 2 pyrimidine amine, it means the amine group is present at this second position. So let us write down the structure. So in a structure we have a pyrimidine, so this is my pyrimidine nucleus. The second position I am having NH2. For this instant I will complete the valency of amine, that we have to adjust later. So next we will see what is attached, what is more in the structure. So this part we have done. The other part is, to this 2 there is one bracket ending here. So let us find out where it starts from. So this is the end point of the bracket, and it is starting from here, somewhere here. This is starting point. So I will mark it with some color pen, and this is 3-pyridyl group. 3-pyridyl group is attached to the 4th position of this pyrimidine amine. So let us mark out the 4th position. So here I am having 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5 and 6. So at this position there is 3-pyridyl group. Now what is 3-pyridyl? So this is the heterocycle pyridine, and we start numbering always from heteroatom. So it is 1 2 3. So this is the 3rd position. Now this 3rd position of pyridine is attached to the 4th position of our nucleus. So let us draw here. And balance the valencies, and here you can see this is 1st, 2nd and 3rd position of pyridine, which is attached to the nucleus. So this part we have done. Now the 4th position of pyrimidine we have done. The 4th position is now connected to a curly bracket. So you can see this huge curly bracket. This is a big curly bracket which is attached to the nitrogen. This huge curly bracket is attached to the nitrogen. Okay, now coming back to the structure, we can see there are 4 nitrogens, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are 4 nitrogens in this structure. Now where actually is present this curly bracket ka substituent? So let us mark out these 2 nitrogens and the other nitrogen. These nitrogens are present in the heterocycle, and all these nitrogens are having a satisfied valency. You can see here this nitrogen 1, 2, 3, this 1, 2, 3, and if we count the valency here 1, 2, 3. So all these nitrogens are have completed their octet. Now if something is mentioned in the IUPAC name like 1,2-dihydro or 1,2-dihydro or 3,4-dihydro, so in that case we can think of something is attached to these nitrogens. But since there is no such words mentioned in this IUPAC name, the complete curly bracket is attached to the nitrogen which is outside the heterocycle. That means this nitrogen which is in the substituent form. Okay, now this we will derive the structure. We will attach this substituent on this nitrogen. So let us see. If we see, the curly bracket ends here, and we will see the starting point of this curly bracket. Just mark it with a color pen. So it starts from here and it ends here. So what is the end point? The end root is phenyl. That means the phenyl group is attached to this amino group. So we will remove one hydrogen. The hydrogen is replaced by a phenyl group. Okay. So phenyl is attached to the methyl group. Phenyl is having a methyl group. Methyl group is at second position. So here in a phenyl, now this phenyl is attached to the amine at this position. That means the second position is either this or this. Let us consider here this is a second position. So it is first, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is our second position. We will attach here one methyl group, CH3. Now next, 2 methyl, in front of 2 there is a bracket ending. So again mark out. So this bracket is ending, a square bracket is ending somewhere here. So let us find out its starting point. So square bracket is starting from here it is starting from, and this complete square bracket is present at third position of phenyl ring. So where is the third position of phenyl ring? So here is the third position of phenyl ring. So to the third position, what is the last part which is attached? The last part is amido. So what is amide? Amide is CONH. So let us attach an CONH group at this position. So we are having NH and we are having CO. So this is amide. Amide is attached to the benzoyl group. So what is benzoyl? Benzoyl is a phenyl ring with CO. So CO is already there. We will attach a phenyl. So this becomes benzoyl. Now this benzoyl, again we can see one bracket here ending. This is the bracket. It's a simple bracket which is ending. Let us find out the starting point. So this starting point starts from here, and in front of this there is a number 4. That means this particular substituent is present at the 4th position of benzoyl. The 4th position of benzoyl is this one. So what is the last of is this methyl. So here we will write CH2. Then this CH2 is attached to the piperazine group. So we will write down piperazine here. Piperazine is this. So here it is piperazine. And piperazines, we have methyl group. Methyl group is present at 4th position of piperazine, so here it is methyl. So we have with us a complete structure IUPAC name. Now here I have another huge IUPAC name, so we will try one more IUPAC name. Let us start from the end. We are having quinazole amine. 4-quinazole amine. So what is the structure of this quinazole amine? Let us draw the structure of first quinazoline. So what is this quinazoline? We all know the structure of quinoline. Quinoline is benzene ring fused with benzene ring fused with pyridine. So it is quinazoline. Benzene ring fused with pyrimidine is quinazoline. And to its 4th position, so I'll try to number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this position we are having amine group. So let us draw the structure. Here we are having a benzene ring. There is one nitrogen, there is one more nitrogen of pyrimidine. And the 4th position, we are having NH2. This is, we have named this part 4-quinazoline amine. Now this 4 is attached to a square bracket here. We can see here the end point, end of the square bracket. Let us try to figure out where it starts from. So all these are the closing brackets. So we will see, we'll take a color pen and we will mark out the starting point. So this is the starting point. So this starting point, so this complete square bracket is present at the 6th position of quinazolamine. So we will number it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6th position we have this complete big square bracket. So we will try to name it. We are having 2-furanyl. What is furan? Furan is a 5-membered oxygen containing ring. So numbering starts from here 1, 2. So 2nd position of furan is attached to the 6th position of this quinazole amine. So I will attach the 2nd position here. We are having oxygen here, a furan group. So this is the 2nd position. 1 and 2nd position of furan is attached to our nucleus. Now 2nd furanyl is having, we are having one more square bracket here, ending the end point of the square bracket. Let us try to figure out where it starts from. So I am having another pen, another pencil. So it starts from here, it ends here, and let us find out the starting point. So this is the starting is here, somewhere here. So this is present at this square bracket. The green part is present at the 5th position of furan. So we will write down the 5th position. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th. So this is the 5th position where it is present. The next substituent is present. What is the next substituent? The green bracket, we are having methyl. So I will try to write down the CH2. Then methyl is connected to another one more square bracket. So we will write down this square bracket, which starts from here in yellow and it moves to this part. Okay, so methyl, since the number is not mentioned, the amine group is directly attached to the methyl. So I will write down here NH. NH is attached to ethyl. Ethyl is another square bracket which ends up here, but there is no number mentioned. That means to amine ethyl is directly attached. So I will write down here CH2, CH2. To ethyl there is a simple bracket. Here I will mark it with blue, which starts here, and this is attached to the second position of ethyl. That means here. So we have sulfonyl SO2, which is having a methyl attached. So it is, this part of the structure is complete. Till this much we have done. Now this sixth position, again we are left with this part of the structure. So let us start. This 6 is having phenyl group here. I forgot to make one more bracket. The square bracket, thus it ends here and it starts from here, which is present at the nitrogen. Now we can see there are three nitrogens, 1, 2 and 3. But again, since there is nothing mentioned here of hydrogens, saturated nitrogens, this nitrogen is attached to the substituent is attached to the substituent which is present at 4th position. So let us see, at the end part there is a phenyl group attached, so we will replace this hydrogen with a phenyl group. So we have a phenyl group here. Now this phenyl, the square bracket stands from here and ends here, and it starts from here. So 4th position, phenyl is attached to the methoxy group at 4th position. Now this square bracket which is present here, it is attached to the nitrogen of the 4th position. So let us start, or just let us derive the substituent on this nitrogen. The last part is phenyl, so we are attaching a phenyl group here on the nitrogen. This phenyl group is having methoxy group at 4th position. So here we can see the methoxy group is present at 4th position, number is mentioned, so we can write down here OCH3. But this methoxy group is having 3-fluorophenyl group attached to it. 3-fluorophenyl. Now what is this 3-fluorophenyl? We are having a fluorophenyl group. The 3rd position of this fluorophenyl is attached to the methoxy group. So I'll remove one hydrogen from here. Let us make this hydrogen 2, and we are having this fluoro group attached. But the structure is still not complete. You can see here there is 3-chloro group, one more substituent which is attached to the phenyl. This phenyl, if we skip out this part, then you can see 3-chlorophenyl. So here we are having this position 3rd. You can write down chloro at either this position or this position, it hardly makes any difference. Now this structure is complete. If you want me to derive some more structures or the structure which you want, please message me in a chat section, whatever the structure which you want. If you like my video, share and subscribe.